Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chains Devstream. Tonight I have Zychronix with me, and we're going to be causing chaos. We're going to see how many enemies we can cram into one fight. This is where we left off last time, and Zychronix has raised a very interesting question about what would happen if we attacked. So we're going to try that. Which one should I attack, Zychronix?
Uh, the one in the middle.
Alright, one in the middle it is. Oh, I don't have auto additions turned on. It crashed. Alright, well, it was fun while it lasted.
That's what I thought would happen.
Yeah, that makes sense, because that's a very, uniquely scripted fight. Icarus just said, "What the hell is going on here?" I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, maybe we can change it to uh Berserk Mouse. Maybe that might work.
Yeah, sure, what's Berserk Mouse's ID?
Oh, I actually don't know.
Wow. I didn't think there was anything about this game that you didn't know. Um, we don't have enemy IDs in here. No, we don't. Do we have monster IDs? Enemy mod? Alright, well, I'm assuming it's just 0.
No, Zero is Mantis, I know that.
Um,
It is 25.
25. Now, we just tried to fight 7 Fausts right off the bat, and the game did not like that one. So, Zychronix, I think the first restriction we're going to run into is not having enough script slots.
How can that be
Uh,
expanded?
that is not Berserk Mouse.
Oh,
That's
did I get it from?
Dragon Soldier.
Really? Huh.
So you're going to notice something right off the bat here, that the enemies have the wrong textures. That is due to the way Legend of Dragoon loads enemy textures, and that's going to be something we're going to try and solve here tonight. When you load an encounter, um, every single encounter in the game is basically it's basically hard-coded what enemies will be loaded. And it's actually not the enemies that are loaded that dictates what textures are loaded for the encounter, it's the encounter itself. So even if you change what enemies are in that encounter, the textures will still stay the same.
It's 24.
I got time scaling off. Let's just see.
I mean, this should still work. It only has 3 attacks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it should be fine.
But, like, Faust has, like, 9 magic slots
Yeah. Oh god, I don't remember which ones
and a
use
bunch of
physical attack
counters.
third and which hasn't.
Demon dance. Blazing dynamo.
So far, so good. Well, would you look at that? Apparently TFC's new edition code does not work with counters.
Yeah. Ta, go. Ta, ha, ta, go. Ha, blazing
That
dynamo.
is odd. I thought it was using the Ultimate War God flag.
He updated that. I'm not sure what it's using now, but it is not the Ultimate War God.
Yeah. Ta, go. Ta, ha, ta, ha, blazing dynamo.
Oh, these guys are kind of
Yeah.
almost spanking
Go.
me.
Ta, ha, ta, go. Ha, blazing
That is not this kind
dynamo.
of stream.
Not with that attitude. Alright, well that went much better than last time at least. So, we need to do something about the textures. Now, one major issue is that we have a limited amount of VRAM to work with. However, I have made major progress in being able to pull textures out of VRAM into their own regions of memory. If we fire up the game here onto the title screen, and I flip over to VRAM mode, you can see that none of the title screen textures are actually in VRAM anymore. So everything that's being rendered here is either the PlayStation standard TIM format or PNGs, as is the case for all the text that you're seeing here, and it's all just loaded into its own textures in memory. We're no longer really restricted to what the PlayStation can hold. Well, the original PlayStation's VRAM limit was 1024 by 512 pixels. Um, we are only limited by your actual system RAM now, so it's not really even worth putting a limit on it, really. Hey, welcome to the stream. Okay, so we need to track down where. Is it here? Need to figure out where the textures are being loaded. I want to say it is load.
Even in here, or is it in a script?
Oh no, it's definitely not in a script. Yeah, load enemy textures.
Oh,
Okay, so what do we do here? Where does the... Right, okay. So if we backtrack to the load encounter assets method, you can see it's using the encounter ID here, and that's how it loads the texture packages. Now, of course, we need to do something about that. So let's first pop into the game files and take a look at what we're dealing with. So the very first one here, um, this is going to be a TIM file. That's a texture. Yeah, hex 10 is the TIM file header. And then we have two empty files. If we scroll down a bit, we should find, yeah, here's one with two textures, so that it would be one with multiple enemies. 2G, that is, of course, an interesting question and very difficult to answer. Some parts of the game code are still fairly close to retail. Well, I mean, so first off, we do have to clarify, of course, that I have written 100% of this code, uh, essentially from scratch. We don't have the original source code, so we're not running the Legend of Dragoon source code here. All of this I reverse engineered and translated from assembly. So, I mean, in the first place, it's not really the Legend of Dragoon code, but of course, it was very close. At this point, however, I have completely rewritten a lot of major systems from the ground up, like the script engine, a lot of the rendering code, well, almost all the rendering code. Um, Alepri has been working on rewriting the music code from scratch, so a lot of it is, not only written technically from scratch in the first place, but then it is also like completely rewritten from the ground up with the benefit of hindsight. So Zychronics, we need a way to track down where the enemy textures are. Um,
That See, I thought the enemy textures were loaded based on the unique monster IDs,
no,
not
they're
necessarily
loaded.
the counter themselves.
Yeah, no, it's straight up the encounter.
Oh, maybe I'm misremembering. But yeah, where would you?
So I have an idea. Um, what we could do is loop through the entire encounter table, looking for an encounter with the enemy ID, and then just load the texture from the slot.
That sounds awful.
I mean, there's not a lot
But
of
if it
encounters.
works, yeah.
Like it'd be very, very quick to do that.
'Cause I'm trying to think, what if you want new encounters?
Yeah, no, this will be a stopgap for sure, until we extract all of the textures into a reasonable spot.
Are they not all in one of the dragon bin?
They're all in Dragon Zero, but I'm talking about like what I did with the characters, for example, where instead of just being in like a random directory index, it's characters slash character name slash textures.
Right. Is there a way to figure out the monster ID attached to something in the Dragon Zero bin and just put the textures over there with the unpacker?
Yeah, definitely. Um, but I think I'm just going to brute force it for speed right now.
That, in the end, is my favorite method.
I figured you'd be on board. How many encounters are there? I suppose I can just open the encounters file and do the math.
Yeah, I don't have the exact number. It should be 512, but
Um, they are 56 bytes each. Yeah, 512. Alright, so in this encounter data struct, we have some number of enemy infos. I guess that's going to be 3, right? Yeah, it's always going to be 3. Yeah, that checks out.
in the retail game, yeah, it's always 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though there is a 4th slot. What a shame.
Well, there's going to be a lot more than 4 slots soon.
Like, imagine Firebird with, instead of 4 volcano balls, it has Will-O-Wisp. And what would be a good 4th?
More Firebirds?
Oh wait, there's 2 Will-O-Wisps. You can have one of each. There's 2 unique Will-O-Wisp. And that would give you 4 unique monsters.
Alright. Just trying to decide what exactly I'm going to do here for this. Okay, so here I need to um, do I want to do the loop inside of here? I suppose. What was that file? Right. 2625 plus the encounter ID. Surround directory. Yeah, okay. Easy enough. So this is going to be 2625 plus encounter ID, and that will be monster slot. Yeah, the LOD code has a lot of very, very questionable things that I found. Um, there's a lot of very, well, unique things. Um, like I think they were actually one of the very, very first games to use a script engine. Uh, Dungeon Siege is typically considered the first game to use a script engine, and is one of the reasons it's so dynamic and flexible. But it was written years after Legend of Dragoon, and up until I started doing this, we had no idea that it actually used a script engine. We just saw all these weird files that we had no idea what they were. Turns out they're scripts. They're also the bane of all of our existences.
The damage cap? Oof.
Yeah, like for example, the well, let's talk about the damage caps like Zychronix just mentioned. Um, every single enemy script and character script and the combat controller and the main game code all have the same damage cap code built into them. So in order for us to raise the damage cap, like we did, I don't know, 3 or 4 streams ago, we had to edit, I think it was, what was this, Iconics, like 300 or 400 scripts?
Yeah, around there.
Yep.
The item code is another issue. You still can't max mash in server chains yet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, every single item. Yeah, you know how with the multi items, you mash the X button to do more damage. Uh, every single item, well, every single damage item at least, has its very own copy of that item mashing code in its script. Instead of just putting it into the game engine or the combat controller or something, yeah, every single item has its own copy of it.
Except for the beta items that are still in the game that do no damage,
Right. Yeah,
unfortunately.
there's a couple of beta items that are missing that code. Okay, so we've got load encounter assets. Okay, that is stage 14. Now, when does this happen? Okay, that happens beforehand. So we can, in fact, um, safely reference the encounter data at this point. So, we no longer want to use this method. I don't know why this is even loading the S item overlay. Doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay. So we've got the encounter data. Now the question is, what do we do with it? I think we can just reference the IDs here. There is no reason for that to be a short array. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. That is a really good question, whether it is the same script verbatim. We haven't looked closely enough to actually compare them byte by byte, but they do work all identically. One thing that I have noticed, which is even worse, is that every single NPC in the game also has a copy of the basic movement script inside of their scripts. And they are all changed very slightly. So they basically just copied and pasted the scripts and just changed a part here and there when they needed to, instead of just making it one script that's, a bit more flexible or whatever. So if we ever need to change that, I do not know what we're going to do. Okay, so when you do that, I'm going to actually change this to just return file data instead. This can be load dragon file n0. Okay. Oh, it needs to be a list. So obviously it's not going to be this easy. So let's step through this and see where it explodes. Yeah, Forest, I mean, it's been 2 years of refactoring. Apologies for this repeating sound. Oh, it worked itself out. Alright, so let's see where we found the first texture. Encounter 171. What is Encounter 171, you ask? Or I ask, at least. Dragon Soldier. Well, that checks out, because we're fighting 7 Dragon Soldiers.
So it did work.
Yeah, it looks like it. 34,848 bytes. 171 would be 796. Yep, checks out. Now, one issue that we're going to have here, for sure, is overloading the VRAM. I knew this would be an issue, but I just wanted to make sure that the texture lookup was going to work. So yeah, I mean, first off, it only tries to load 3. Um, I wonder why they do that and with 1FF there. I don't think that's ever going to be anything above that. Hmm. That is odd. I mean, I guess they're just doing a weird check for -1. I don't know why they wouldn't just compare it to -1 instead of ANDing it with 1FF and then, I don't know, just Legend of Dragoon things. Alright, anyway, if we enter in here, now they do all have the right texture, but that is just because of coincidence. One thing that is gonna be, one thing that's gonna be interesting to try and reconcile is that these models, the models in Legend of Dragoon, they use a standard format, for the most part, they use a standard format called TMD. Um, that's the regular model format for the PS1. Unlike modern model formats, I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with UVs. Um, a UV is basically like a texture coordinate, so it says where in the texture each of the vertices of the model points. Um, Normally, in a modern 3D model format, those UVs would start at 0 for the top left coordinate of the texture, so the top left corner of the texture would be 0, and then 1 or some other value would be the bottom right corner. In Legend of Dragoon, however, they hard code the actual absolute value in VRAM. So they don't actually they don't reference a point on a texture. They reference a point in the GPU's memory. This is a problem because imagine you load two models that are hard-coded to point to the exact same coordinates in memory, because you only have a limited amount of video memory, right? So you know they always use this region right here for the monster textures. So if you loaded two enemies, and both of them were hard-coded to have their texture in this first slot, whichever one is loaded last is going to win. Why they did that, I have no idea. But LOD actually has like on-the-fly remapping code for like when they load models, um, so they can actually like change those values on the fly. It has to parse out the rendering packets and adjust the UV coordinates and then resave the rendering packets, and it's all bullshit. But we're gonna have to do that. It is good that the file lookup is working though. That is a very good first step. Okay. It is max 3 different kinds of enemies. Zycronix, what is the max number of enemies you can have in a fight in retail?
6.
6. Yeah, so
With
you can
4
have,
unique.
yeah, no, it's 3 unique. Is it
No,
not?
it's 4.
Is it? Okay.
The fourth slot works, it just isn't used.
Okay. But it can't load textures though. Can it?
Right, yeah. I think the fourth slot's always broken, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So yeah, it's up to 6 enemies total, but 3 unique enemies. So the reason that the textures on the PS1 are very wobbly is because, again, if we talk about modern 3D rendering, we use what are called floating point numbers. So a floating point number is like, you know, 1 point whatever, and it's called a floating point because this decimal point can float anywhere in the number. So you can get a lot of resolution out of these, especially numbers that are close to 0. The closer to 0, the higher resolution they are. So the PlayStation 1 does not have decimal numbers at all. You cannot have a number with a decimal point in it. It only does fixed point math, and that's really bad for 3D. Um, and also, fun fact, it does not have a 3D graphics unit. The GPU does not do 3D. It just doesn't, period. It can only render 2D things. So they actually have a coprocessor in the PS1. A coprocessor is kind of like a secondary processor. They're not really big anymore, but they used to be very common when when general purpose processors were a lot slower. You'd get like math coprocessors and stuff that were a lot better at doing math. And that would speed up your computer a lot. The PS1 has a coprocessor called the Geometry Transformation Engine, and that is actually specialized hardware for doing 3D transforms. So you have to send all of your geometry one by one to this coprocessor to do the matrix and vector math. to transform the 3D, pre-transform it into 2D, and then upload that to the GPU for it to render in 2D. And the issue that causes the wobbling is just that the perspective transformation that it does just lacks the precision due to lacking decimal calculations. So it just basically has to do approximations. So depending on how the face is oriented relative to your camera viewport, it will look slightly different due to that inaccuracy. Okay, where was I? I was looking for models. So we're going to need to do something to attach the models to these new textures, or rather other way around. Attach these new textures to the models. Okay, so this is loading the animation. It might just be... Oh yeah, this was the shenanigans with the way that the animations are loaded. Another issue that we had before was that for some reason the Legend of Dragoon developers decided that they should store some animation data, not all animation data, but some, in VRAM instead of just regular RAM. I have no idea why, but anyway, we no longer do that because it's insane. I need to track down how and where these models are actually loaded. I'm guessing it's right here. That's a C container, which is a standard model container for these. I don't see any way that it would be like a hardware limitation, to be honest with you. I mean, there's not really any time where the game is like pushing the limits of the PS1's RAM. I mean, they load a lot of stuff that's really not necessary to be loaded as well. Um, and I mean, animations are really small anyway. Like, they only take up, a max a couple of kilobytes. And even then, that's being pretty charitable. I mean, all it means is that, the game is going to take longer to load those animations back out of VRAM when it needs to use them. So, who knows? Yeah, Crash Bandicoot did do a lot of unloading of whatever they didn't need in the BIOS. I did actually completely reverse engineer the kernel and BIOS as well in my quest to do all this bullshit. Um, and just let me tell you, the PS1 BIOS is basically held together with popsicle sticks. Like it's almost unbelievable that it actually works. And in fact, it's actually very, very common. Like, I would say even like most games do this. It's very common for games to actually install BIOS patches to A, fix bugs in the BIOS, B, speed up some of the BIOS operations. Uh, like, you know how slow the memory card access is in Legend of Dragoon? The game actually patches the memory card to be much faster than it would be otherwise. And that's saying something. So I am 99% sure this is where the model is getting loaded. I'm just gonna make a new save with scaling disabled. Character ID 0. Okay, so this is loading the character models as well. This is the battle object ticker. Character ID 3 and character ID 5. Okay, then we get into the enemy combatants. I wonder what this branch is. Okay, so what did they do here? So we've got the TMD, that's the model. Yeah, so that runs through this adjust model UVs method. And this is what I was referring to. So these actually read out the various TMD packets and then remap parts of the data. Okay, so that's in a D object too. It's gonna be a matter of getting the information that I need all the way down to this method. So we know this is where it gets loaded ultimately. And it comes from the battle object ticker. Now, Zychronics, this stuff about color maps, I think that actually came from you and Alepri. Um,
Yes, so Lepre figured that out.
yeah, so color maps is one potential name for it, but I think this is actually how it decides which enemy should be in which slot in VRAM. So it technically would have the same effect as, like, remapping colors, but I think that that is because it's actually crash data, I guess. I think that's just because it's pointing it to one of those other textures.
It's just not pointing it to a different cult. I thought that's what.
I don't think so. So this is interesting. Goes 1 through 6, and it jumps to 14, 15, 16. Let's see where that color map actually comes from. Yeah, so that's the only two places that it's set. So it's either set to character slot +1. I think that can also be monster slot. Or it's whatever this mess is. Okay, that's a bunch of uninitialized memory. Well, let's jump into that method and we'll see what it's actually doing for these enemies. Okay, so it grabs the combatant, checks to see if the color map is already, or it has not been set yet. I think this is the only place that it gets set. Yeah, it is. So the character slot is -1. So, yeah, okay, so this character slot +1 seems to just be for players, and then this method. This is odd. That's the monster ID. Why is it checking to see if the monster ID is less than 512? There's not more than 512 monsters, is there?
No. I was even checking 512, checking something with a counter related.
Depending on whether it is less than 512 or not, is where I starts at. So if it's from 0 to 512, then it loops from 4 to 9, which seems to control which bits it uses. So yeah, it starts at 4, so we start at hex 10. Okay, so this variable right here is denoting which slots are used. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna shut this down and do some renaming. Monster ID. Um, so I guess we'll call this method um, find free monster texture slot. Kind of weird that they have that method but aren't using it. I guess I'll use it. That's equivalent, right? Yeah, shift should be. Yep, okay. Set monster texture slot. In this case, it's fine because this is a 32-bit number. So this becomes texture slot, I guess, which is going to have a lot of cascading changes. Yeah, these are rect for the texture slots. They must be, right? 2, 3, 4, x140, x100. Yeah, that makes sense. 64 by, yeah. Yeah, that checks out. And then that's 64 pass. Yep, that makes sense. Although this first one, that's all 0, is kind of odd. Oh, yeah, look at this. Okay, so A0 can only be not 0. So that means, I guess, 1 is the first one. In this case, with a 32-bit number, that means it's 4 bytes long, so it can range from 0 up to FF. But in practice, the game's not actually using that many bits. So yeah, FF, yeah, 01FF would be correct for the max. That would be if every slot was used, or every bit was set that they actually use. Okay, so this is going to be texture slot. This is also going to get renamed to texture slot. This array is texture slot rects. This makes a lot more sense.
Still looks like gibberish to me.
It makes a lot more sense than it used to. Now, what is this? So this maps a texture slot to something. So it's equivalent for the first 6 values, but then it jumps. Okay, let's see how these are used in combat. Yeah, okay, so if what we were formerly calling color map is set, then we adjust the model UVs. That makes sense. This is for def stuff. We probably don't need to worry about that. Now there's special case handling for the color map having the high bit set. And it uses a different array of something. Okay, this is just in the animate model textures. This method might throw a wrench into this a bit if any of these monster textures are animated. We're going to have to account for that for sure. Now, I don't think it's possible for any of the models in combat to have animated textures, judging by the code that I've been seeing. Yeah, because it's just using... Well, that simplifies it a bit. Yeah, hex 200 is the max is the number of values though, so it ranges from 0 up to 1FF, which is hex 200 different values because 0 is the first value. Okay, now for the very complicated part.
This wasn't complicated already?
It wasn't complicated enough. So we need to look into this remap method. Forest, after this, I'm probably going to move on to another game. Um, Golden Sun is currently the #1 contender. Okay, if we step back here, yeah, that's a character model. Oh, we're in a loop, aren't we? Okay, I'm just gonna be careful that I don't step too far here. Alright. Now we've got enemy data. So what do we do with it? The color map of this model is 4. What does that mean? So we take a look at this data here. 502 BC. And it is hex 10 bytes. So that's going to be BC to CB. Now, the way that this data is laid out, we have A3. So it takes a part of the primitive packet. This data here is the primitive packet. What we're looking at here is a 3C packet. If we bring up that's not what I'm looking for, this IQ file formats document, And we go to 3D graphics, TMD. Now here's our 3C packet here. So, the data that we're looking at remapping is the first and second words. So offsets 0 and 1 will be V0 or U0 and V0. If we look at this data, yeah, that is going to be the U value, that's going to be the V value, and then these two will be the clut. So let's take a look at what we have here. So our mask for the first one so it keeps the UVs intact, and it's actually masking off the clut. So let's take a look at this. 83C3, and we want to not that 7C3C. So if I'm remembering my packet encoding correctly, am I remembering my packet encoding correctly? That is the question. I'm gonna look that up just to be safe. Yeah, okay, so bits of 0 to 5 are the x coordinate. And then 6 to 14. Hmm. Why? Why is there a value in those higher bits? No, that does make sense. Scratch that, that's fine. Yeah, no, 496 is a fine value for the y coordinate, that makes sense. Okay, so that is the value for the packet. 7DA0. Now we mask that off. We end up with just 180. And then we add in the adjustment. 70A0. So we end up with the same coordinate for this one, but that may not necessarily be the case. Now what about the T page? T page in this case is just 18. So it's, hold on, let me take a look at this mask. Yeah, so that's masking off the lower 5 bits of the texture page. So that's completely masking off the x and y coordinates of the texture page. So that does make sense. And then it's going to set its own texture page. Yeah, so that'd be 8 times 64 for the x value, and then 256 for the y value. 8 times 60, yeah, so 512 by 256. This is the point of the stream where the viewership drops off dramatically. So now the question is, what have we learned? Well, we've learned how the game remaps the texture coordinates. It seems to only be changing the texture page and the CLUTs. Now, I do wonder if all of these do not change the UV coordinates. Two 7C. Okay, we start up here, and the masks are at 4 and a C. So every hex 10, FF. Yep. Be fantastic if they never mask off the UVs. That'd make it a whole lot easier. Yeah, it looks like we're in the clear for that one. So I'm actually wondering, we may be in the clear here. These textures are always loaded aligned to a texture page in the GPU. So we might actually not even need to remap anything. This might just work if we pull those textures out of VRAM. And that would be really something. Something just working.
So you could have avoided all this checking, or you still needed to do it.
I mean, the verdict's still out. We'll see.
I think we need to try more of the brute force method, try more encounters. Does it just work like the dragon?
Well, no, I still need to actually pull these textures out of VRAM because they will overflow the VRAM as it is. Like there's only enough space allocated in VRAM for 3 textures, so we do need to pull them out of there. But I don't think we need to do the model remapping, which is great because I didn't want to do that. So in this method, what do I need to do? I need a way to pass in Okay, I think we want to store the texture in the combatant itself. Actually, what changes have I made here? Is this worth committing right now? No, I won't bother yet. So I'm just going to have this texture property here. so this is not a great way of doing this. But that being said, I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, so if we pass the combatant in, then we just load the texture directly into the struct rather than into VRAM. File and pass the combatant in here and just return, and then down here, null. And that'll make that load normally. Okay, where is the code to allocate battle objects? Monster battle object. Right, okay, we do have the combatant here as well. Perfect, okay. So we need a new property on the model as well. Where was that property? There it is. I'm just going to put it alongside here for now, since they're related. So we're going to set the texture to the combatant texture, which may be null, that's fine. Null means no texture at all. So the render, I believe, is actually set in the ticker, which is kind of weird, but yeah, it's so weird how battle objects are loaded and rendered. Okay, so now we need to get weird. So in here we're building a polygon packet. I have already added text, like external texture support to this. Oh shit! I just realized I also need to back. I need the palettes as well. Okay. There is no way this is gonna just work. No way in hell. Okay, so we need to extend these methods to be able to pass in textures and palettes. And here, model texture and model palettes. And now we actually need to use those. Alright, well, here goes nothing. Get ready for explosions.
It will work first try, believe.
First try, every try. Nope, not quite. Alright, well, it didn't crash.
Are
So, I
all
mean,
enemies just going missing?
so the reason that they're missing parts is because the parts that are invisible are textured, and it's just getting all zeros for the texture for the pixels. So we can clearly see that the monsters were not loaded into standard VRAM, which is a start. That's what we want. Um, I think I can run away. Look at that. I ran. First try. Okay, let's take a look at how these are being loaded. I'm gonna put... No, I don't. Yeah, I'll put one breakpoint there. And where the hell was that loader? If we click the back button for long enough, we'll get there eventually. Oh. Okay. So this is actually... Yeah. Okay. So this method here is actually getting called before those are loaded. Yeah, okay. So we just need to do this in a different order. Or in a slightly different way, at least. We only have access to the model here, don't we? Alright. Don't look too closely at what I'm doing here. Yeah, I mean, we can data mine, I mean, anything that we want to, really. I'm pretty sure I have those values, I have that code refactored. Okay, so this abomination runs. Aha. Okay, so it's trying to read. Oh my god, we have something? Is that right?
That looks right. Try a different monster.
Did that just work? Holy shit, okay. This is not a drill. That worked. Those are not being loaded from VRAM.
So, can we have 5 unique monsters? And will that work?
Where was that? Oh, it was in the battle loader. Yeah, right here. Alright, well, give me some monster IDs.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
5, 6 as well. Fine.
Yeah.
Alright, everyone hold on to your butts. I'm pressing the play button with great trepidation. Are you ready? Is everyone ready?
No.
We are in some kind of... Oh, so what happened there, the reason it loaded so many things is because it does not break after finding it. But that is okay. No, it was not okay. It was not okay at all. I lied. Okay, let's rework this a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna load those from the start. I'm gonna swap these loops. We're gonna look for... Yeah, okay. So we loop through the monster IDs one by one. Then we find them in the encounter. If we find them, then we want to continue the outer loop. Okay, let's try this again, and we'll see if that was causing the issue or if it was unrelated to this. It did look like it was unrelated to that, but I mean, that did need to be fixed anyway, so. Yeah, okay. So I might know what's going on here. Yeah, okay, so it's only loading 3 enemy slots still. That's why. So that should be combatant count. Should it be in combatant count? Okay, let me examine this for a minute. So we grab the combatant. We are loading them in order. Wait. Okay, so this is looping through all of the combatants and then seeing if their character slot is -1, which means that they are a monster. So we check the character index. Hmm. Okay, so this just needs to be files.size. And I think that will fix it. Alright, moment of truth part 3. Failed to find palette. Okay, so some of those may have out of range values for the klutz, which is very unfortunate. Okay, what information can I pull out here? Gonna rerun this with a little bit of extra logging. Actually, I'm just gonna put a breakpoint there so we can do a post-mortem. Oh yeah, that's running real nice and slow with the breakpoint set. Okay, so what do we have here for values? 240. So that's an issue. Now, the thing with that, the reason that 240 is an issue is because that is in a different texture page from the texture itself. Or is it? So texture base Y is 0, which is very interesting. That means it's in the upper texture pages. What do we have for palettes? Y is 496, so that is in the bottom page. 497, 498, 499, 500, 501, 502. Yep, yep, yep. So I think these models are still getting adjusted. And that may be an issue. Now the question is, as always, what do we do with this information? So we have this adjust model UVs method. Now, is this getting called before or after the combatants are loaded. That is a very good question. It's in the battle object ticker, and it is referencing, okay, it's referencing the combatant structure. So that's a good sign. So I wonder, it really doesn't like running with that breakpoint set. Okay, so this is loaded. Yep, perfect. Now is it going to crash? Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
I'll change the camera view. Or is that only going to work one? Oh, yeah. All of them are loaded.
There you have it. The most unique and fully functional enemies ever seen in Legend of Dragoon at the same time.
Now this boss still crash if you have 7 of them.
I would assume that he does, because that was an unrelated scripting thing. Well, we did it. Of course, the sound doesn't work. That is expected. Wow, that thing just pleasured Albert. Get a room.
I guess it is that kind of stream today.
It's not even my fault. Blame the spinning head. She almost did 666 damage with Demon's Dance. How appropriate.
Blazing Dynamo!
Blossom Storm!
Well, this went better than I expected it to. I don't know about you, but I was picturing fighting with UVs and all kinds of bullshit.
Blazing Dynamo!
Alright. Now where do we go from here? What happens if we increase this to 8? Huh? It's probably gonna crash. I assume
Is
there
there
was a
enough
reason that
script
we...
slots for it?
I assume there was a reason that we picked 7 last time.
How much? How many script slots are there again?
72.
Oh, I meant like in battle.
Uh, some. Okay. Oh, it would have helped if I extended both of the arrays. Yeah, Ontario. Honestly, that went way better than I ever expected it to. Doing anything in Legend of Dragoon that involves models or textures is a nightmare, even with all of the work that I've already put into straightening it all out. Yeah, okay, so we got a script crash there. Unknown game data index 138. Okay. So I don't know what these are, but hmm. Okay, so there's one instance of these for 10 combatants. Okay, yeah, you see that as Iconics? Um, this is stuff like Shield, Sigstone, and Charm, Pandemonium, Charging Spirit.
Right.
So there are hard-coded 10 slots for these. So we were sitting at 3 slots for players and 7 slots for monsters before.
And that's where the 7 came in, okay.
Yep. Okay. Now, we could expand this array no problem, but look at how the scripts access these through the game variable parameters.
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't it be coded like that?
Yes, we will also be able to increase the number of characters. Um, we don't have the groundwork for that yet, but you know, it'll be very, very similar to what we just did with the monsters. So I wonder if 137 is the very last one. Wouldn't that be great, Zychronics? If 137 was the very last, 137's the very last parameter.
Oh, great. Okay, so you know what to do.
How great is that? 11. Alright, let's see if this works now. Well, how about that?
Well,
Alright, well, we broke that limit too.
everything mostly worked right away.
Um,
Can you cast
what's gonna happen if I use a all attack? Look at all those arrows.
hey, the game is still working until the damage kicks in, perhaps.
Look at that, it just works. Oh, okay. It seems
Are
to
you sure?
have, oh, no, sorry. It's fine. I just put this
Oh,
breakpoint here so that I could, check something. Yep, nope, it's fine. It didn't crash or anything. Yep, so that just worked perfectly. So, now we obviously need to take this to the logical extreme.
and that is
Um, First off, we're gonna need to arrange the enemies in rows. So I don't know, let's
that
say rows of 6.
36 monsters. I mean, 6 per row usually fits in most battle arenas.
Okay, so I know there is one limitation here, and um, that is in the combat controller. Okay, it seems there's one of these per combatant. So I don't know, let's make this 50. We'll need 50 battle objects as well. I have all of these named in another branch. I need to check that to see what those are. Please hold. That is on the stats branch. Okay, so that's all battle objects and alive battle objects. So these both need to be 50. Character, battle object indices. Those don't need to be huge. And then we can allocate the other 46 for monsters. Actually, I think there's a bug in the code, so that'll actually be 45. That's a bug in the retail code, and I don't want to patch that right now. So we're going to do 45 monsters. There's no way this is going to work. Alright, get ready for the hardest crash you've ever seen. Ah, there it is. We ran out of room for something. Wait, how the hell did it get combatant index 65535?
Maybe try with 24 monsters first.
That's quitter attitude right there, my friend. Okay, we're gonna step through the code, and we're gonna see what the dealie is. Okay, so let's take a look at the monster indices, make sure these look sane. Is it possible that any of these are invalid monster indices? Can you verify that for me?
Sure, one moment.
Okay, I think we want to be in this method actually. Where was it that it actually crashed? Oh, it was in here.
How many monsters was it again?
45.
45. Nope. All monster IDs from 0 to 45 are valid.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, suddenly it just overflows here. So what are we looking at? Oh, okay, I see what the issue is. We have run out of space in this array here. So this shouldn't return -1, this needs to throw an exception. ran out of combatants. So we need to expand this to 50, of course. Okay, where is our issue now? Okay, this uses a fixed size. This needs to be flexible. Combatants.length. And this should also throw an exception. Probably. Yeah, it should definitely throw an exception. Okay, so we've got same thing here. Current enemy names array, of course, also needs to be expanded. It's just going to be a matter of running this and finding all the things that need to be expanded until it actually works. We're just going to keep beating our heads against the wall here until it works. Why is it going all the way to index 50? Okay, that is the monster count. Okay, let's take a look at this. Yeah, so that's 45. So how did we end up with a monster count of 50? If we step down here, we end up with 2D, which is 45. Yeah, that's the only place that gets incremented. Okay, so um okay, I am confused. How is this getting incremented? Um, okay, I'm gonna launch that again so I can watch it properly. Yeah, it just jumped up there. Okay, I'm gonna add a memory watch. I have a feeling there's some structure in the game's emulated memory that is going way out of bounds and clobbering a bunch of memory. Whoops, that is super not what I wanted to do. Okay, so memory dot add watch. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, and then 21. Oh, of course, it's that array right there. Fortunately, this is a very easy fix. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. Pushing it way past its limits, to be fair. Oh, it lasted a lot longer that time. Okay. So this is a much more unfortunate error. This means that there's something weird going on in. Okay, so that's a VRAM copy. So I'm wondering this might be actually one of those animated textures I was talking about earlier that I said would cause an issue. Um, so rather
So if you
than
try,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, rather than just doing unique monsters, um, let's just divide this by 3 and we'll do 15 unique monsters.
I was just going to say 50 vampire kiwis.
That sounds like a auditory nightmare. No, still the same thing. Well, slightly
Yeah,
different thing.
try just Monster ID 27.
Alright, we'll try Monster ID 27.
Where did they go?
It is possible. Oh yeah, they're way off the screen. So I did not use the correct coordinates. Oh, it's because of this minus half length. Okay, so rather than waiting for our turn, I'm just going to restart, because it may take a while. So, I think we have accomplished our goal.
The evolution first it was discovered that there was 6 monster slots, and now we have 50.
Yep. So this is the thing now. You're welcome, everyone, for this monstrosity. Okay, so the combat debugger only shows 10 slots.
You know what? I'm still surprised you're running at full speed.
Yeah, on scale 2 on my desktop, which has a CPU that's not nearly as powerful as my laptop, and while recording. We are saturating a lot of the available script slots. Although, I mean, we could expand the number of script slots as well. Just saying.
Maybe we should. It looks like one of them is very special and out of sync with the hive.
Oh god. Why? Oh, there's a few of them. Why would you point
Oh
this
yeah.
out? Alright, well, let's get murdering.
Yeah, why did one of them get out of sync? You see that one out of sync? Oh
There's
no, there's
there's a bunch of them.
three. Oh yeah, there's like, oh, oh, like 10% of them are out of sync now. It's bothering me. Oh no. I think a psych bomb is
Oh, it ran
appropriate.
out of yeah, it ran out of script states. How many instances of the number 72 are there? Too many. Alright. Well, time to expand the maximum number of script states, I guess. What could go wrong?
The battle just stops loading.
We need more scripts. Okay, is the script debugger hard-coded to 72? Where does it even add them all? Oh yes it is. Okay, expand that. Combat debugger is limited to 10. Um, what is that variable? This one. Now we wait patiently for our turn.
Or, just use the combat debugger.
Let's see if it actually...
Oh god.
Yep. No, we'll just play this one out.
"99 script states."
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Alright. Get ready for Night Raid.
How does he even know where the middle is?
Oh, we seem to have... Oh, frig. It's the actual scripts debug log. Alright, attempt number 17. This time I will force a turn. Look at it go. We ran out of script states again.
We need
100 was not
more.
enough. We have to go deeper.
We need more.
150. We can't overflow that.
Just go to 200 or 999 at this point. Wait, how much RAM are you using? Is this nuking the memory usage?
No. I've
Oh,
got it limited to 1 gig. Yeah, it's using just over 600 megs of RAM. This isn't AAA bullshit. We actually write good code. Oh my god, it ran into script states again? What are you talking about, 2G? It's only 600 megs of RAM. That's like a third of what Discord uses.
oh gosh, my Discord has been crashing because it's reaching like some RAM limit.
It's
And then it
ridiculous.
restarts itself. Yeah, my Discord's at 2 gigs right now. I'll crash eventually.
Yeah, that's literally insane.
Meanwhile, Fossilized Dead in the Water Skype 400.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, come on. 200 has to be enough. It's all the death effect.
Now I just set it to 999.
There we
Oh.
go.
It actually works.
uh, we did it. Look at all those healing potions.
Wow, look at all that EXP.
uh, marvelous. So we have too many potions. We have too many items.
I mean, at least the menu didn't crash too.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I've peaked. It's all down here from hill. It's all downhill from here.
Alright, now crash the game again with 50 Divine Dragons.
I'm gonna give us an assortment. Let's try capping it 0 to 11. Just gotta find a set of enemies that doesn't have an animated texture.
Oh god, this is her hand. I'm triggered. This, this does not look right.
It's probably fine. Taking screenshots to send in Discord.
Yeah, the positioning needs to be figured out. When are you and Zamboni working on the camera so we can zoom out and see everything? Oh wait, no, I can do that right now.
Yeah, actually, TFC is working on camera stuff now, coincidentally.
Is the camera code de-emulated or is it still?
Um, Parts of it are.
Gosh, where's the zoom value in memory? Now I need to look it up.
This is so very wrong.
I mean,
Alright, we're gonna send them all to hell where they belong.
no,
Ah, man. Okay, Demon's Gate did not like that. Hmm.
The zoom value isn't found at, well, the memory address anyways. Unfortunate.
Alright, well, this is going to be much, much more difficult to track down and fix. So we'll leave that up to TSZ.
EFC master at the script engine.
Yep. Our resident, reluctant script expert.
I dodged that one.
You sure did. Yeah, the issue is... So, it's actually using the script storage for something. It somehow arrived at index 52. I wonder if it's just using like a set of the script storage variables, like on a per monster basis. Um, that would be an issue if it wasn't at the end of the array. But hey, maybe it is. So let's expand the script storage. We are, after all, pushing this as far past the limits as we possibly can.
Alright, let's see it work.
It may clobber a bunch of unrelated data. But hey, sometimes that's just something that happens.
All the arrows, oh my god.
Oh.
Oh,
Hmm. Yeah, okay. So there's some limitation in Rose's Death Dimension script. Um, and that is not something that we're going to be able to debug tonight.
it probably can't handle gathering all the enemies up.
Yeah. Let's try the snapshot that Death Dimension takes.
Wait, that works now, right?
Oh yeah, works perfectly. There are very, very few things that actually do not work now. TFC has been absolutely demolishing the graphics bugs. It even works when you're using upscaling.
Next project to add to the atrocity. Ooh, imagine this with the upscale project. Okay, that's gonna destroy your CPU for sure.
The rasterizer for models is actually pretty fast. Um, like the software rasterizer I wrote. Where it really struggles is when it has to draw like full screen textures and stuff like that. Just because like the slowest part is just setting all of the pixels, Because, you know, even at 320 by 240, um, like, that is almost 77,000 pixels. 640 by 480 is over 307,000. So, you know, like, rendering one full screen texture at 640 by 480 is 307,000 pixel sets.
Yeah, I can only go to 6x before you capped it at 5 for the render
Yeah.
without lagging.
I did a lot of trickery with this new software upscaler, and it's so much more efficient than the old one.
Oh, it actually took the picture, but because the enemies are in the wrong position and didn't really get them all.
Well, we killed a bunch. I don't know. Let's
Thank God the invisible flag is a thing.
yeah. Oh right, I jacked up Rose's turn counter. This is really a
That
camera angle.
that's a view. It's one of the camera angles of all time.
It definitely is one of the camera angles of all time. Alright, do we have any suggestions?
Only 4 items that time?
Wow.
A shame.
3,324 gold.
Okay, this EHP screen is bothering me. I should fix it.
Yeah. It's been like this since pretty much day one. I'm surprised that more people haven't reported it.
No
Alright.
suggestions?
Yeah, really, no suggestions from anyone on who we should fight. Not a single suggestion.
Monster ID 109 it would be a popular one. And it would be a great screenshot to pass around.
Alright. What was it?
109?
109.
Or, Sandora? Which Sandora variant? The fire
Yeah,
one, the water one?
which Sandora? Just the regular soldiers?
The one with just start in the commander? Or... You know why this one's popular?
Sachets.
Yeah. I saw on Reddit, someone's like, oh, I spent so many hours grinding this out. Well, instead of doing that, just do this. You can get all the sachets you want very quickly.
Alright, let's see how many we get.
Are you going to push them back?
Maybe.
So they're...
I don't know, they're in easy reaching distance. Let's use Flash Hull this time.
Alright, I'm picking a Sandora Soldier. 103.
103.
Only one?
Really?
Only one?
That's honestly just rude.
I know it's a 2% drop rate, but still, when you have that many monsters, I guess it's a compounding rate of 2% from each enemy, something, something. I don't like math.
Did you say 103?
Yeah, that's the fire Knight of Sandora. Oh, someone's getting unique.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to type this out in modding channel to get all those. I mean, this one's less monsters.
Here you go.
Oh, we might have a problem because Divine Dragon actually is multiple enemies. Same with Michael. I think you can only spawn the body outside
Oh,
of your
it's
normal encounters.
probably... Yeah, it's probably scripted.
Yeah, because the other parts actually don't exist. They're just invisible. Maybe the body just works. Let's see. We don't need the other parts, but let me go work.
Yes, triangles. They are all targetable. They all work perfectly. Oh, we broke something.
Oh,
That may have been... Oh, we dropped too many items. Okay.
oh, that was the problem. Oh,
Yeah, okay, I
I
need to
have
make
to
it
make a
so,
cat. Actually, no, don't make a cat because you have the item 999 limit or whatever.
yeah, I'm
But
just
there
gonna
is no
change it to
space on the
100.
UI for that.
What?
There is no space.
No, definitely not.
Unless you make a side-scrolling item thing. A side-scrolling item display to display. all your items. There's a UI element you can work on. You've been making quite a few of those.
A UI element specifically to display 100 items.
Yes. Yeah, I sent you the monster list for the next suggested set.
Okay, I'm just expanding the drop limit right now. Yep, they do actually drop them when they die. Okay, I'm just gonna run this one more time to make sure that the new drop code works. Alright, let's see those drops. Yep, that's what I thought. What do you mean we can't fit them in our inventory? Okay, so you got a list of enemies for me in modding channel?
Yes. Let's see if that works. Maybe not.
Alright, this is gonna be dicey. Okay, so how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can just do this. Alright, let's see what happens.
The Michael might be heavily scripted, but we'll see if it works.
No.
Crash.
Something's missing files.
Yeah, all the dragons together didn't work. Unfortunate.
Yeah, we tried the dragons. Alright, what is Grand Jewel's ID?
Oh, everyone's favorite boss. 335.
You said that Grand Jewels together crash?
I don't. They might because of the magic slots, but I don't think anything else would
Okay.
cause them to crash.
I thought you mentioned they crashed, but I might be mistaken. Uh-oh. I think we're in danger.
It's a forest.
Alright, I am going to force a turn. What can we use to get a better view?
Uh,
So the frozen jet kinda worked.
yeah, Frozen Jet or Flash All, I think. If the Winglies had this back in the Dragon campaign, the humans wouldn't have stood a chance.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna drop Rose's turn value back down, and we're gonna see how long we can last against this. I can't even see the arrows to see how much health they have.
Wait, I just noticed something. Did only 2 rows of damage numbers appear or not?
I think they did. There's probably a limit on a loop somewhere that we need to fix. Yeah. Looks like it's only like 10. Yeah, I like how Albert's the only one you can actually see. Oh god. How many level downs are they gonna give us? Alright, well, we're holding out decently so far. I would increase the frame cap so this would go faster, but it's not even reaching the frame cap.
Grand Jewels finally destroyed the CPU on this one.
Oh god, level goes down again. Does it actually drop your level?
Yeah, it
It
does.
does. Yep. We're down to level 24 now. I wonder if they're actually gonna keep dropping our level.
I never seen it drop to 0 before.
Wonder what they're. Oh yeah, we've barely even scratched the surface here. Alright, level down again. Dart
Make
down
this
to
monster, maybe you should go
17.
into special. See how many of them try to dragon block the party.
I guess we can speed up these effects. Since the grand jewels aren't rendered. Can we do render scaling of 0? Alright,
That sounds like it'll crash the game.
I don't think we're gonna make it out of this one. Down to level 12 now. Well, Albert, it's been real. A turn. I know, I'll use power down on one of them. Oh, was that level up? Look at that. 318 whole damage. I want a bunch of them to use level down so we can see what happens.
I think if they started leveling up, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the level downs are going away. Or maybe it's like, oh, I had done it twice. Time to level up twice and then back down twice. Maybe that's how the script works.
Hmm.
So I don't think you. Well, maybe some people might be below like level 10. Bring in their level 9 Shanna or something. I don't know. I
Why
think
is
that's impossible.
why is Dart dodging so much?
Because you got the hacks. You probably have the legend cask on him or something.
I don't think so. This was my actual playthrough save.
Sage's cloak? Yeah, your playthrough saved with Armor of Legend and Legend Cask. The hack.
No, I don't have anything like that.
That's the only thing that gets 50% avoid.
have that?
How much gold did you grind on your playthrough?
None.
That's
I
20
don't.
grand right there.
I don't. I don't bother to grind. Maybe this isn't my playthrough save.
Maybe it's Zamboni save. Definitely not mine. Oh, they actually started using powerful items, I just noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
Dart's not going anywhere soon.
let's drop that down.
Transform him into a Dragoon. He'll die real fast that way.
I will if we get another turn before then. That's 2 more level downs. Alright, let's hurry this along, Dart. Oh, we got another level down. We are officially down to level 12. Yeah, Zychronix, do you want to see if you can find me the monster IDs for what Garrett just said in chat there?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I have the evolution of the screenshot because I tried that too.
The Dragon Block effect runs out already. Oh god, now another one's using it.
I didn't expect all of them to start using it because the flag is set just by one of them.
Alright, that did a little bit more respectable damage. I kind of want to see a game over because I'm pretty sure that the game over screen is going to be broken.
You have no faith. It's gonna work. Oh, your answer will soon be upon us.
Well, we lost to the really grand jewel. Oh no, game over screen's fine. But it crashed when I got back to the menu. That's unrelated to this, but related to the resolution changes that I made recently. Alright, you got the IDs?
Hold on. Now I do.
You want to just read them off to me?
268, 387, 294 to 298.
294 up to 298?
Yeah.
Including 298?
Yes.
Okay, any others?
No, that's it. This is the most normal lineup we've seen tonight. I was thinking to add Rose in there, but then Rose might trigger the tutorial script and then you can't do anything. Wait, where is Dragon Dole? I did add him. Maybe it's loaded with his human counterpart first. Yeah, Dole's the one missing in that gap there. I think you might be able to select and it'll pop up. Yeah, Dragon Dole won't load unless it's the human form is in there first. Did you go on mute?
Yeah!
Well, this is a nice reunion.
Okay, now we need to actually separate the old ones from the new ones. 295 to 298, and then Sieg was the 387, and then Rose is 255. Yeah, 2G's right. The Dragon Reunion is a good screenshot.
Yeah. Okay, what IDs?
255, 387, and then the 295 to 298. Yeah, the 4 in the tower Z grows. Oh, Shirley. But there's no Dragon Shirley model. That hoax has spread far and wide.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I wonder if someone actually got a copy of like an in development disc, and that's where that came from, and they just kept silent about it. other than that one screenshot.
Okay, we are getting the conversation
Oh,
with Rose.
oh, you can still go into the tutorial to see everyone though, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's a good screenshot right there.
Alright, I'm gonna send these in modding so I'm not spamming non-stop. Oh, that's not quite right.
Oh, yeah. What? What happened?
I don't know. Okay, that happened with him too.
Maybe it's the Rose tutorial script messing it up.
Could be.
Graham and Survey were in the other ones, I think I did. Yeah, that was the last one we did.
Oh, we're soft locked now. Not allowed to do anything.
Oh, the Rose tutorial script is working.
Okay, so now we do, of course, need to do this.
The final one?
Yep. Now there's gonna have to be more expansion here. Um,
Someone should come up with a good mob that doesn't have fancy animations for it. The Mazo. But wait, you can target them, so will you just instant win?
I do not know.
I think you instant win if there's 0 targetable enemies. I haven't actually tried it.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Um, I'm also going to have to expand the scripts. Just gonna push that to 500 scripts. Mm,
Do
push
we
the
want
enemies.
Shirley in the other screenshot? She doesn't have a dragoon form, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate. Alright, we're gonna try and get 108 working. Right, I need to expand the combatants array as well. We're really gonna push it here. Yeah, we just need to keep expanding these things until we hit them all. One by one. I think this was the last one. But we shall see. Oh yeah, right there. Zychronics. There's a limit of 12 floating numbers at once.
Oh, interesting.
Alright, here we... Okay, still more to go. Oh right, I need to expand this as well. Okay, this has to be the last one. Here we go. Come on. Ooh, okay. So we have reached another limit. Um, and it's highly likely that we are also clobbering a bunch of data here. I bet it's this. These status variables. So we are probably overwriting all of this stuff by adding all those extra enemies.
And we weren't doing that before with 50.
No, we were, but we are now reaching the end of this list.
Oh.
This is going to be more of a problem than the other one because these are right in the middle. What do we have here? 297 minus 108 is 189. Okay, so no, we are reading... Huh. I think there might be one of this addition extra structs for every combatant. Yeah, that's interesting and also unfortunate. The script engine. Alright. Well, we could make that work by expanding this. However, it is not proper because it'll be treating all of these values down here as if they were this structure and potentially overwriting important data. Whatever all these are, and then we've got the dragon block staff and whatnot. So that's not great. We're going to have to come up with a solution for that before we can really use this. But I mean, I think at this point we have way, way more than proven that this is doable. And I'm pretty satisfied with that for tonight. We have been going for almost 4 hours now. Good God.
This is getting carried away to the next level.
Yeah, a little bit. Alright. Well, I think that this would be a good time to wrap it up. I mean, we saw the OG Dragoons have a little get-together. We fought 45 vampire kiwis and also 45 grand jewels. Before we go, I would like to thank my Ko-fi supporters, Vorthod, Deningrad, Zach, Doom Metal, Platinum Sarge, and Milk Lizard. If anyone else, for some reason, wants to encourage me to do more of this, my Ko-fi will be linked in the chat. And I hope everyone has a good night.